Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fandomology, where fandoms collide. And this is something that I hoped I would never have to talk about, but I received news today via Discord from a few of my friends that a friend of mine from here on YouTube has passed away. His name was Nate, but you guys here would probably know him as the Legendary Tron. And so I want to do this stream. I don't know I don't know how long it's gonna last. My usual rule of getting a stream to last about an hour, that doesn't apply here. We're gonna let this stream go as long or as little as it needs to. But I want to do this stream in tribute to someone that I didn't just consider a YouTube friend. I considered him a true friend. So for those that don't know, the Legendary Tron was a YouTuber and Twitch streamer who played mostly, at the time that I met him, things like Apex and Fortnite and other different games like that. And he had quite the following. And what's most impressive about Tron is that he did all of this despite having a pretty substantial disability. Tron had cerebral palsy and a pretty severe case of it to where he was pretty much nonverbal. And anytime that he interacted with anyone on stream, he had to rely on a text-to-speech bot. And he was still able to communicate that way, of course, but what was most inspiring about Tron is that he didn't let that slow him down in any way. And hello in the chat real quick to Ted's Nerd World, who said, great song. Thank you. For those that don't know, I did just come from EBN, where they were doing their tribute to Legendary Tron, and I sang the song that I had written for Tron. I'll sing it again here at the end of my stream. But I kind of gave a brief summary on the EBN stream of my feelings on Tron, and I knew that he had been going through some health issues of late. He hadn't been very active, that I could tell, on YouTube. Unfortunately, the details are completely lost on me because, let's be honest, I've been kind of out of the loop myself. But just finding out as I was talking to my fiance, kind of wrapping up our little conversation for the night, finding out that Tron had passed away. I remember seeing Mike, Pacific 414, a notification came across my computer of Tron, that he had passed away. And so I went to EBN, found out they were doing a tribute stream for him, and I wanted to pop in and do my song, which I did. But I want to talk a little bit more in detail about what Tron meant to me, and I want to also open the opportunity for anyone else to. Now, obviously, because of past shenanigans, I'm not putting the link to the StreamYard in the chat. So this time, if you want to be part of the stream, DM me on either Discord or Twitter. My handle on Twitter is @MasterPaul120, and I will send you the link directly. But if anyone wants to come and give their thoughts on Tron and what Tron meant to them, I want to open this up for people to do that. So I guess while I wait on that, I'll go ahead and give my thoughts. So I first met Tron around about the same time that I first started this channel back in 2021. It was, of course, through EBN, and I'm sure everyone, at least within this sphere, met Tron. In fact, I don't even remember what the stream was that was going on. I'm going to try my absolute best to find it. But it was, of course, kind of in the hype of the whole thing of Kathleen Kennedy's getting fired and the whole sequel trilogy is going to get rewritten and stuff. It was around that time when everyone was super hyper-focused on that. And EBN was, of course, having their pop-ins. And I remember Coach saying that their next guest they were was going to bring in was a very special stream, was a very special guest. And Coach gave this intro where he said, our guest has cerebral palsy, and because of that, he has to be able to type everything that he's going to say, so he cannot speak. And so let's all welcome him in. Let's all welcome the legendary Tron. And Tron popped in, said his piece, of course, about how he too hates Disney Star Wars, as most of us do here. And I'm sure he said something else then, but that was just in general my first thoughts, my first exposure to the legendary Tron. And I remember at the time thinking, and this is kind of a silly thing to say, kind of in hindsight, that, wow, that technology, that text-to-speech stuff that he's got working is pretty cool. But then, of course, Tron kept coming back to EBN, and I find out that he has his own channel, and I happened to be on a pop-in with him myself, and I knew that he was, of course, a big fan of the Tron series, which I said on the EBN thing that I really wasn't, at the time, that big a fan of Tron. I had seen Tron Legacy, and at the time thought it was just okay. But he kind of inspired me to go back and watch the first one. And so one day I DM'd him and said, hey, I'm going to be watching the first Tron movie for the first time. Would you like to come along with me on that? And he was gracious enough to say yes. And so maybe this will be a bit easier to find. I'm going to pull up that stream. YouTube, you shouldn't get me in trouble on this because it's my own stuff that I'm showing here. So give me a second to scroll to that. Like finding a needle in a haystack as many. There it is. Okay. So we're going to show where is it? I hope it didn't get taken down. Something's up with that. Okay, I can't find it, weirdly. But, if I can find it, I'm going to post it because Tron, having him on the stream, and of course talking about his favorite movie that I was seeing for the first time was really fun. And of course, he gave all of his thoughts on the movie and why he liked it, and it was really nice to be able to talk to him about that and why Tron was his favorite, and I guess sort of what he saw in himself through Tron, and why he chose to adopt the moniker of the Legendary Tron. And so since then, we kind of just, our paths, we didn't really, talk too much with each other, and maybe we should have, but we kind of intertwined our circles a little bit, where I appeared on a lot of his pop-in streams that he would do, his chill streams. He'd appear on a few of mine, and of course we would interact with each other at EBET. And real quick, I want to say hello to some of the people that popped in. So hello to Leia Rose, who said Tron was a gentleman's soul and had a big heart for everyone. He absolutely did. Hello to Pacific, who says rest in peace, Tron. Hello to Cash of Phantom Hooligans, who says RIP. Hello to Blazerhawk Darren, who says, I'm not sure what stream it was, but I think I was on a panel with the Legendary Tron once or twice. Hello to KG, who said, OMG, I was just thinking about him the other day. And to Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, who says, man, another one. Yes, it's... Okay, this right here. This was like the winning thing about Tron. Tron had this smile that was just absolutely infectious. You saw this smile on stream, and you just couldn't help but smile along with him. In fact, in hindsight, it's probably the one detail about him that I probably should have figured out how to put in the song that I wrote about him. But he had the biggest smile ever. And this is another good one, too. The way that he would... Obviously, he had to take time to write what he was going to say into his text-to-speech machine. But anytime he was ready, he was ready. And he was snappy with it, too. That clip of, silence, users. Tron is about to speak. And it always made me jump every single time. But it was still fun. And he sold the bit really well. So you heard that clip, and then he said whatever it was he was going to say, and we went with that. And for a while, he also, at the end of his streams, would always start playing the whole, remember, I fight for the users, or if I said that right, or something like that. And he would also pretend to be the MCP, the Master's Control Program, and he would end, for a time, all of his different text-to-speech things with end of line. So Tron had not just a big smile, but an amazing sense of humor, too. And that's the biggest thing. Like I said earlier, he had disabilities. He had limitations, but he did not let those get him down. He did not let those stop him. He knew what he wanted, and he busted his butt, metaphorically so, and probably physically so too. He busted his butt to get to where he wanted to be, and he achieved it. And then unfortunately, his health, of course, caught up with him, and I know for a while he was having some troubles, but like I said, I've been out of the loop, kind of uninformed myself lately on what things have been going on with YouTube. And then to find out today that he's passed away was a shock, and it hurts. I'm grateful, though, and that's a good idea, Blazerhawk Darren. I probably will do that. I am grateful, though, that I'm fortunate enough to have met him in person twice. The first time around, actually both times, were at the ICC con. The first time, of course, it was at the Nashville Sheraton. Yes, the same one that I challenged and ultimately fell to Mexican Iron Man with. But I remember meeting him for the first time that Friday evening before the con actually started. So for those that don't know, the Nashville Sheraton has kind of this like main square thing kind of in the middle of the hotel. It's like an outdoor seating place. It's where the pool is. They had a stage off where people were playing music. And EBN and everyone there took pretty much over that entire area. In fact, real quick, if anyone's watching this now live or is watching this in posterity, let me know if you were there. I certainly was, of course. I know Debbie Young was there, Felix Quiros was there, Matt Rissman was there, Crit, you were there if you're watching. A bunch of people were there, of course, and Tron was there too with his brother. In fact, Debbie was, if I'm not mistaken, instrumental in getting Tron to that convention because he wanted to meet everyone, and of course, everyone wanted to meet him. And Tron was a little Tron, if I remember correctly, was a little celebrity at that convention. I remember I wasn't there to see this, but I heard all about it. He met Ashley Eckstein, of course, the voice of Ahsoka, and after that, Coach was teasing and be like, Tron's got a girlfriend. In the way that Coach does. And of course, Tron was just lapping it all up. Now, of course, he was at the convention and even more limited in how he could communicate because he didn't have his text-to-speech thing with him. He was trying to with his phone. I know that because I watched him. But he didn't have the stuff that he usually has on stream. And yet, he still did his absolute best to communicate with everyone, and he was still having fun. Like, you could tell that him being there at that convention made his day, made his week, whatever time period you want to throw in there. And of course, by this point, I had long since already written the song for him, and it was a joy to sing that song live for him. The only time I've ever done it. Now, I did meet him again at the second ICC that I went to, which was not at the ICC Sheraton, and I would have sang that song for him again live, but unfortunately there was a mix-up with everyone not sure where my mom and I were going to be singing. The stage we were at was kind of back out of the way, but oh well. So I miss that, but I still got to meet Tron. He was still doing great. And that is unfortunately the last time that I ever saw Tron in person. I maybe saw him one or two more times on stream. I don't remember. But since then, we kind of just both went our separate ways. He focused on his stuff. I focused on mine. And that's just how it was. And it's one of those things where naturally you wish that you could have interacted with them more. You could have been there for him more. But of course, I live here in Virginia. I don't know where he's living. I don't know where he was living at the time. But just one of those things where I wish I could have reached out to him more. So, Tron, wherever you're at, I want to believe that you're in heaven. I hope that you were. I hope that, and this is me and my faith speaking at this point, I really do hope that before your life left your body, I really do hope that you had the chance to give your life to the Lord. Because I want to be able to see you up there in heaven with me. But regardless, you made everyone's life better by being in their lives while you were here on Earth. You were a joy to hang out with, a joy to talk to, and I will forever be thankful that I've met you and was able to call you my friend. So Tron, you have earned your rest here on this earth. And those of us that are still here will keep going. We'll keep remembering you. We'll keep, doing what we're doing here on YouTube in your memory. And pardon the unmade bed. This isn't alcohol, of course. It's a caffeine-free Coke. But Tron, to you, buddy. So with that said, I want to open this now to anyone who wants to give their own thoughts to Tron. So we're going to do a slightly altered version of Pop-Ins. I'm not going to put the link in the description because I'm not going to put the link in the chat because obviously we had some trouble with that. But what I'm going to do is this. I believe everyone that's watching right now is part of my Discord. I'm going to post the link there. So if you want to talk with me about what Tron meant to you and share some memories that you have with Tron, then you're certainly welcome to come on in here and we'll do that. And of course, if anyone's coming in here and has any form of malicious intent, you will be kicked out. So the link is posted in Discord. If you want to join, it's there. So I guess while we're waiting on Tron, I want to give a bit of an insight into where I've been sort of recently, and this is kind of, I think it's appropriate to talk about it because it does have a bearing on it. Real quick, KG says, he will be so greatly missed. He was a beacon of light in my eyes. He absolutely was. Like I said, he had the most infectious smile. And when you see it, you couldn't help but smile yourself. So, getting into a little bit as to, I mentioned it earlier, I've been out of the loop with a lot of things. And part of why that is because, being honest with you, my own mental health has not been the best for reasons I really do not think is appropriate to get into right now. But I've been taking some time away from YouTube to focus on myself, focus on my actual real life relationships with those around me, and of course I've had a lot of curveballs thrown toward me. For example, I am currently unemployed. I left the last place that I was working at, last two places actually. I was working at both the Caverns and Aflac for reasons that, again, not appropriate to share here. And I've been looking for a job since, and I've got some leads going on right now that hopefully those become something substantial. But yeah, it's been pretty rough for me the last couple times, and I'm thankful that I've had people close to me that have been helping me through that, including, of course, my fiance, Virginia. And I like what you said here, KG. I feel for you, Master Paul. I'm trying to climb out of a years-long dark period myself. It's hard, but you just got to keep moving. Exactly. And that's what I've been endeavoring to do, especially recently. Because because I'm starting to understand better, like, the true nature of mental health and how much of a bearing I have on it as much as it has on me, if that makes sense. But we have our first guest popping in now, and we're going to go ahead and bring him in. Cash, what's up?
Oh, well, I as I said before, man, I hope things get better for you. I really do.
Thank you.
Um, but no, Tron was a good guy. Anytime he put on a stream, it doesn't matter if however people felt about it. He always had an infectious smile. Even during his birthday stream, he was always having fun, and
Mm-hmm.
it's very sad that he has passed away. I
It
really mean
has.
that he was a good guy, and people like you and Crit, and other people, Coach Nick, they actually got to spend time with him in real life, and it's sad when people that we don't know in person, but he did bring an infectious smile. He brought people also together. It's very tragic. It really is. I
It
remember
is.
even spending time with him in VC. He was showing me some game from Amazon. It was what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was called now. I have to go look it up.
Yeah. And and I want to just real quick touch on something that you said there, Cash. Um, Obviously, you and I have not met each other in real life,
Mm.
parentheses, yet. But you and I, of course, have known each other for a few years now. We've, talked about a bunch of different things. And so you and I, of course, have a genuine connection. And while, yes, we haven't had any time together in person, we have, at least to me, enough of a connection where if something were like this were to happen to you, I would be pretty much doing the same thing I'm doing right now.
Well, you had a nice tribute to him, man. So I applaud you for that. It's funny. Even people that you don't know in person, like they will be. How do I put this? It's they networking with them, the smile, and somebody like Tron, and we found a few people like that, sometimes more than a few people. Uh just just you want to be around them, and Tron is definitely somebody you wanted to be around. And like you
Yes.
said, it didn't matter what his disability was, he still was going to be the same person always. He was going to be the same nice person. um I even heard some actor or something at the time of the ICC actually pushed him, and people got upset about that. I heard that was a thing, and knowing Tron, I'm sure he would run him over with his wheelchair. Uh, but yeah, it's very sad. You don't, when you haven't seen somebody for a while. It's just, and then you find out that something really bad happened to them. It does suck.
Absolutely. By the way, Mike's coming in.
Hmm. I know.
And yeah, it was it's always fun talking with you guys here online, but it took it to the next level meeting him in person, not just once but twice at both ICCs. And I remember just sitting there with him and being like, "Wow, man, I can't believe I'm finally meeting you in person." And
Hmm.
granted, of course, he wasn't really able to communicate much back, but he was able to like nod along and such, and
Right,
you
I'm
could
sure.
tell just
Mhm.
looking in his eyes that he was happy to be there, hanging out with everyone. And shout out to Debbie Young, Mama Bear, for playing the part that she did in making that happen. Because if I remember correctly, she was very instrumental between her and Tron's brother in even getting him there. So Tron Tron was a good person, but of course he was surrounded by such a great community that was able to help him when he needed it. Like I remember once on EBN, he was mentioning how there was some sort of fancy tech glasses or something that he needed to be able to use his computer better that he didn't have the money for. And the EVN community chipped in, and I believe he was able to pay for the whole thing because
very
of the
nice.
donations.
Hmm.
And so, while yes, I want to say this to everyone. While yes, tonight this is about Tron, this is also about you guys too, and the ways that you guys helped Tron out when he was needed. Like, I know in his most recent health stuff that there was a running GoFundMe to help out with that, and I have to believe that a lot of you guys did ultimately contribute to that. And again, you guys, like, that just shows how, when a person is that good to you, the lengths that you'll go to help them out when they're down, right?
Yeah.
So again, as much as we miss Tron, this is also a celebration of Tron and a celebration of the fact that we all loved Tron enough to help him when we needed it, when he needed it.
Hmm.
Like, another time I remember the first time, I'm just sharing random memories at this point. I remember the first time I ever joined one of his streams. And real quick, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Mike.
Great.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Hey guys,
Yo.
I'm just sorry to hear about the passing of Tron.
Hmm.
We all are, man. I remember, as I was saying, the very first time that I joined one of his streams, and I met some of the people that he was friends with, like Solar Batty and people like that. And I remember Coach came in while I was singing Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, and he was wearing his Stormtrooper helmet and just dancing funny like he was. And that stream was basically where the joke of Broomcock got started, Doomcock's evil twin brother. And Tron was just eating it all up. Like, it started with Coach just messing with his like voice modulator stuff. Like, I guess he was trying to make his own version of "Silence, minions! Tron is trying to speak," and everyone, especially Tron, was just eating it all up. But
Tron was a great guy, and he didn't let cerebral palsy bring him down.
no, he didn't.
No, you never did.
So, Mike, do you have any good memories to share? Like, just what he meant to you?
Just being able to stop by his stream and see him do his thing. I mean, here he was with cerebral palsy, which is something I myself was born with, and he has a more severe case of cerebral palsy, being wheelchair bound, but he didn't let it stop him, and I don't let it stop me.
Exactly.
I don't want it. I don't want this to sound like I'm making it about me. No, what I'm trying to say is,
Hmm.
as someone who was born with cerebral palsy, seeing another person with cerebral palsy do his thing, it's inspirational, not just to those who are watching, but those who know what it's like to have that disability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I don't know what having cerebral palsy is like. Obviously, I don't have it. I can only imagine what such an extreme case like what Tron had would be like. Like, I know there's another guy that I know of that has it. He's a singer. He's a gospel singer. His name is Bradley Walker. And he, based on how you describe it, Mike, he's somewhere between you and Tron, where he's wheelchair bound also, but he's able to speak. But he also is someone that didn't let his disabilities get to him because he is an amazing singer. And not only that, but is also sharing the stage with some of the country greats like Jimmy Fortune of the Statler Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's also a broadcaster by the name of Jason Benintendi, who is a former broadcaster for the Chicago White Sox, and now he broadcasts for the Detroit Tigers. And he has cerebral palsy, but he doesn't let it stop him. He calls it an incredible game.
I I can only imagine. I've not heard of this guy, but I'm sure he does a great job.
Yeah. So again, anyone out there, you see someone with a disability, don't just dismiss them right away, because people with disabilities can do things even when people doubt them.
Hmm. Not only that, but they will have an entirely different outlook on life
Mm-hmm.
that you just couldn't even imagine because of their disability. Like certain things that you might take, that you or I might take for granted, someone else might be grateful for that they are able to do it. Like, yeah, going to ICC was great, but just how much more great could it have been to Tron in his situation?
Exactly. Exactly. And I was even telling Cash before I joined the stream, the reason why I stand my ground is because I've had people doubt me and tell me, "Oh, you can't do this." It's like, "Oh no, that's one thing you don't say to anybody with a disability. You can't do this. We'll find a way to do it."
Yeah, I'm sure Tron himself had people say to him, "Oh, no one wants to watch you. You have cerebral palsy. No one wants to watch a streamer with that." No, what he had like a couple 100,000 followers between YouTube
Mm-hmm.
and Twitch. So clearly someone wanted to watch him.
It's because of that smile he had on his face that everybody even on EBN stream tonight was saying. And I found out about the unfortunate news during my Batman Arkham City stream. Kitty Bear came into the
Oof.
chat and told me, and I looked and I said, "You got to be kidding me! Tell me you're joking. Not that this is a kind of joke I want to see in my chat." But he's all, "No, he unfortunately passed away." And then, of course, going to EBN stream and finding out that he passed away last Sunday. And it's understandable why his family didn't want a lot of people to know right away. They need their
Mhm.
time to grieve. That's completely understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tron, again, like I said, man, thank you for allowing us into your life and, of course, being part of our lives here on YouTube.
Mhm.
Thank you for your infectious smile at just about anything. Thank you for your honest opinions on whatever the topic was that we were talking about, whether it was pop culture or gaming or what have you. But most of all, thank you for just being yourself. And thank you for being an inspiration that just because you've got some sort of obstacle in your life doesn't mean that you have to let it stand in your way.
And thank you for just brightening our day. We could have so many things going on in our own lives that can bring us down, but just know, and I hope his family hears this from all of us, even on the EBN stream, that he was a bright light on a
Yes.
dark day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he absolutely was. And one other thing that I would say along with this too is just kind of what Cash Money says, hashtag your health matters. Keep an eye out on yourself too. The
Mhm.
whole keep an eye out on your own mental health. That's what I've been doing, taking time away from YouTube, take care of that. But I would say on top of that, alongside of looking out for yourself, keep an eye on those close to you too. And do not take for granted the people that you have that support you, because you never know when one day you'll never see them again.
Mhm. Make sure, I mean, I know none of us can guarantee this, but make sure, you know, if you do end up having what turns out to be the last conversation, that it's filled with love, not filled with hate and vitriol between you and that person.
Exactly. Cash, any further thoughts?
I just it's really sad because there's not many people out there, unfortunately, like Tron was, and Tron always brought some kind of positive energy to anything. You know what he was dealing with, and um, yeah, it was just always good to see him. And as I said, it doesn't matter if you enjoyed the game that he's playing or not. It doesn't. None of that matters because he was going to be very positive. So whatever he did, you
Yeah.
were going to see that great smile on his face.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
this one might be a bit of a hot take, but truth be told, I know for a while he was doing that VTuber thing where he had a little animated avatar there where he wanted to actually be Tron. It was a great avatar, and he clearly put a lot of work into it, making it work with his setup. But personally, I think Tron's streams were the best when you were seeing who he truly was.
Yeah, we shouldn't be
Yes.
ashamed of who we are.
No.
Mhm. Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna leave the open panel section going for another 5 minutes. So if anyone else wants to come in and say their piece on Tron, like I said, either DM me on X or DM me on Discord, and I will send you the link. But once those 5 minutes are up, then I'm gonna bring the stream back to myself, and I'm gonna sing the song that I wrote for him, and then we'll call it a night from there.
You know what we all should do, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Each and every one of us who streams on a regular basis or even uploads a video, it doesn't matter where the platform is, we do what Tron did, fight for the users.
Right.
Absolutely. In fact, I kind of threw in a little bit of a reference to the Tron universe in my background here. Now, granted, this is the Kingdom Hearts version, but let me bring it in like this. But what you see in the background, this picture, that is a reference to Tron right there, the original movie. Because, of course, the movie is set within the fictional game Space Paranoids
Mm-hmm.
that the Jeff Bridges character created, of course, with his arcade game that he ultimately gets sucked into. And so I wanted to throw some form of reference into this stream to the Tron universe. And as I was looking, I'm going to say this real quick. As I was looking through all of that, I saw a lot of Tron legacy stuff, and it hit me that very early on when I was going through movie reviews and all that, and
Mm-hmm.
me and Tron had just went through the original Tron. I told him at some point I wanted to watch Tron Legacy with him, but unfortunately it didn't come to be, and now it's not possible. But here's what I'm going to do. This coming, let's see, this coming Monday evening, I don't think I have anything going on. This coming Monday evening, I'm going to do a review of Tron Legacy in memory of Tron. If anyone wants to be part of that, let me know. We can work it out. But in memory of Tron, Monday the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are doing a review of Tron Legacy.
You know, Tron Legacy wouldn't be anything without the original Tron.
That's true.
It is for sure.
Let's see. Black Dragon says he'll be there. Thank you, man. And Black Dragon, I didn't read this earlier, but Black Dragon also put in the link, buy a Tron t-shirt at the EBN merch store. And then he provided the link here. Yeah, I don't know how this works out. Coach said that they're not doing this to make money off of their friend. So I'm sure they've got it worked out where all the proceeds to that go to his family, but absolutely go and buy a shirt for Tron and just show the world how much that this person meant to you.
Yeah. I think that's what we all can do, or even send EBN a super chat and say in that super chat that you want to donate it to Tron's family.
Absolutely, because God knows they're going to need it in the in the foreseeable future with funeral costs and such. So yeah, Black Dragon said it. Support our very good friend.
It was a friend to a lot of people. A lot of people loved him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, even listening to Mexican Iron Man tonight, you know, you never know how you're going to touch somebody, how you're going to impact somebody's life. You may not hear it from them, but in some way, each and every one of us has impacted someone's life.
Yeah. Real quick, I do want to do something just real quick. I went to his Discord, and by the way, his Discord has already been notified. But I saw someone posted a picture of him from one of his streams, and I just want to bring an image up of him.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that mustache wasn't real. That's probably a stream overlay. But again, there it is. That
smile.
huge smile.
That infectious smile.
Yeah, like I don't know what he's doing in this picture, but clearly whatever he's doing, he is enjoying it so much that he can't help but express it on his face.
You know who absolutely loved Tron? Stone
Who?
Loki.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's true.
he
I
absolutely
remember
did.
talking to him on the birthday stream that Tron had.
Another person who loved him was Valiant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Virginia just posted a quote here. She says, "No one ever really dies as long as they took the time to leave us with fond memories," by Chris Sorensen. And that is 100% true. And that's, again, the whole point of what we're doing tonight. Taking the time to remember someone that's we all loved and loved us all back.
And think about what Captain or Admiral Kirk in the Wrath of Khan said. It's a far, far better thing that I've done. You know, leaving Spock on the Genesis planet. You know, he's in a far, far better place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and end the open panel portion of the stream. So thank you, Mike and Cash, for coming on here and giving your tributes to Tron. I'm sure Tron would have loved all of them.
Thank you
He
for
was a
having
great
us
guy.
on.
And thank you for letting us come on and join you during this somber time.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop you guys out of the panel. Don't go anywhere because I do want to talk to you guys a little bit after the stream.
Okay.
But what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna end the stream with the song that I wrote for the Legendary Tron. And like I said, I already did this song for EBN, but what's one more time? And just like I did before, I'm gonna do it exactly the way that I wrote it. I'm not going to make it any sort of somber rearrangement. I'm going to do it exactly as I wrote it because that's what Tron would run. Black Dragon says we can console ourselves with the fact that he is no longer in pain. His loss will be felt for a long time. So Tron, again, thank you for being yourself, and thank you for being an inspiration. This one's for you. Come with me on a journey to a place you've never seen before. A place where technology comes to life. A place where users can gather and share positive vibes. A place called the Grid. And who's the leader of this place? Who fights for the users? The Legendary Tron. The Legendary Tron, epic as can be, he's on a mission that's plain to see. Spread good vibes around the grid and get unseen. With your disabilities, can't stop who you want to be. His name is made and he's wheelchair bound, but that's no bother to the dream he found. Cause he's determined to become the best pro game around. None better can be found. Just watching in an Apex showdown. The Legendary Tron, you make a smile, and the joy you give lasts quite a while. The Legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again. Switch supporters, the gritty name, cheer him on as he plays his games, and all the jaws drop as he leaves his foes in flames. Each time the same, he'll never miss each time he aims. The Legendary Tron, you make a smile, and the joy you last quite a while. The Legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again. Oh, the Legendary Tron, you make a smile, and the joy you give lasts quite a while. The Legendary Tron, such a real great friend, I can't wait to see you stream again. All right. I think we're going to do it there, guys. So thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for pouring out your love to Tron in the chat. And KG put it best. We will always love you, Tron. And we will. So I'm not going to do my usual outro this time, but instead I'm just going to say thank you guys for watching. And we're just going to leave it at that. End of tape.